Today we're going to find out if a $100 microphone can be recommended as your main microphone. Today, I have the pleasure of reviewing the SE Electronics X1A. As always, full disclosure, SE Electronics did send this microphone to me to review for free. I do get to keep the microphone, but as always, that doesn't sway my review in any way, shape, or form. They don't get to tell me what to say. They don't get to see this video before I release it. Nothing like that. So, let's get into it. All right, let's cover some specs for the SE Electronics X1A. The X1A is an XLR condenser microphone. It has a cardioid polar pattern. Its frequency response is 20 Hz to 20 kHz. It requires 48 volts phantom power. It has an equivalent noise level of 16 dB. It has a max SPL of 130 dB to 150 dB because it has an attenuation pad of 20 dB. It has a low cut filter at 100 Hz, and it's just flat out awesome. All right, first things first, let's test the pad built into this microphone. So for anybody that doesn't know what that is, basically it just lowers the volume of the recording. So if you're recording, let's say you're a voice actor and you're recording in your closet or wherever it is that you're recording your audio and you need to get to a part where you have to yell, you could just knock the pad on this microphone over and yell and then turn it back on and keep talking, and basically it would duck the volume for the yelling and then bring it back to where it was before you had to yell. So you could use it in that way. There's a few other ways that you could use it too, but let's go ahead and test it and see what this sounds like. Now, I'm going to be bringing the volume back up, obviously, so don't blow your speakers when I hit the pad and then bring it back. So let's give it a go. All right, now I have the 20 dB pad engaged on the SE Electronics X1A. So obviously I'm sure the volume has dramatically decreased. So I'm about to turn it back up. So again, don't kill yourself with, how loud you make it. All right, and here we are with the pad turned off. Now, this is a $100 microphone, and you not only get the pad option, which is awesome, but you get a high-pass filter option. Now, with this one, if you're not wearing high-end headphones or listening through high-end studio monitors or something like that, you're probably not going to hear this at all. And even if you do have high-end monitors or headphones, you still may not hear this. You have to have pretty good ear training to pick this up. But it is a 100 hertz low-cut filter, so you might be able to hear it because it is, instead of it being like a 60 or an 80, it is 100. So let's see what that sounds like. So here we go. All right, now the low cut filter is turned on. It's 100 Hertz. That's what it's cutting out at the bottom end of the frequency spectrum. It's cutting out 100 Hertz. So let's see if you can even tell. Maybe you're not going to be able to tell. Maybe you can. I'm going to go ahead and flip it back to its normal. Okay. And now it's back off. So there is no 100 Hertz cut going on right now. So now it's back to normal. I don't know if you could be able to hear it or not. So anyway, those are nice little things to have on a $100 microphone. I mean, normally it's a $100 microphone. You just get a fixed polar pattern. You get everything's fixed. There's nothing else you can do to it. But SE Electronics, freaking amazing company, $100, and you get two of these features. It's pretty awesome. Okay, and now the plosive test of the SE Electronics X1A. Peter Piper popped his peas, resulting in plosives. All right, and now let's test the proximity effect of the X1A. All right, now I'm a good few feet away from the SE Electronics X1A. I'm not really quite sure how far away I am, but it's a good few feet. All right, now I'm like 3 feet away from the SE Electronics X1A. All right, and now I'm like a foot away from the SE Electronics X1A. And now I'm about 6 inches away from the SE Electronics X1A. All right, and now I'm right up on the SE Electronics X1A. I'm really curious to see if it got super, super boomy the closer I got to it with the proximity effect. So yeah, that is the proximity effect of the X1A. All right, and as always, this is the X1A boomed, much like you would do with a shotgun microphone. This microphone was definitely not created to be boomed like a shotgun microphone, obviously. But for anyone that's curious, for whatever reason, this is what the X1A sounds like, boomed out of frame. Best part of the video. Matter of fact, a lot of people are gonna hate this. I know. you came here to watch me unscrew this, and now you're like, what's the point of the video now, James? Idiot. All right, let's test out the polar pattern of the X1A. It has a standard cardioid polar pattern, so sorry about the microphone handling noise. That's just going to be part of it, but let's see what that sounds like. So I'm speaking into the front of the X1A, and now I'm moving to the side of the X1A, where the audio is probably starting to sound really good right about now. And then if you get to the back of the X1A, this is the secret to this microphone. It sounds really, really good from back here. And then as you get to the other side of the X1A, things might get a little spicy here because this side of the X1A actually does a little bit different than the other side. And then when you get back around to the front of the X1A, you're probably a little disappointed that the audio sounds really good. All right, so this is what the SE Electronics X1A sounds like in an untreated space. Obviously, you wouldn't want to record in a space like this, but this is what this microphone sounds like in an untreated space. And as always, I'm not that far away from the microphone. I'm like almost a fist away from the microphone. It's just the lens, you know, it's just a really, really wide angle lens, makes me look a little further away from the mic than I am. But now let's go up into my completely acoustically treated closet and see what this microphone sounds like in there. And as always, a little clap test to let you hear the difference between an untreated space and a treated space. So here we go. All right, so this is what the SE Electronics X1A sounds like in a completely acoustically treated environment. I've got many, many different acoustic treatments inside this closet to make it sound as dead as it does. But yeah, this is what the this is what the X1A from SE Electronics sounds like in a completely acoustically treated environment. All right, a little bit of horrible camera audio to cleanse the palate before I get to the X1A versus a couple of microphones, so here we go. All right, so here I have the SE Electronics X1A, and I have the LCT 240 Pro from LEWITT. I have not reviewed this microphone yet, but it will be getting its own review here in the next few weeks. I wanted to put these microphones back to back because this is a $100 microphone and this is a $100 microphone, so I just wanted to put them head to head and see which one comes out on top. In my reviews, if this helps you guess, and let me know in the comments below if you can tell which microphone is which, but in my review, before I started shooting this video, I found that the LEWITT just had a touch more brightness than the X1A did. The X1A sounded a little bit more robust, a little bit more full than the 240 Pro sounds. However, that doesn't mean that the 240 Pro doesn't sound good. I think it does, especially for a $100 microphone, but that's just a little hint for you in case you wanted to have a little insight into the differences between them, and it'll help you decide which microphone is which in the blind A/B test. But I do like both microphones, but I'll let you know my overall thoughts which one I preferred. All right, now on to the SE Electronics X1A versus the Rode NT1. All right, so as always, let me know in the comments below if you were able to tell which microphone was which between the SE Electronics X1A and the Rode NT1. Now, everyone who watches the channel knows how much I love the Rode NT1. I mean, it's just a really, really hard microphone to beat. It's got an incredibly smooth frequency response. I love the way it sounds, especially on my voice, but to be honest with you, I've never heard it sound bad on anyone's voice. But now we have the SE Electronics X1A. This is a $100 microphone, and I saw it on their site and I thought to myself, I really should grab this microphone and see if it would actually stand the test of being a $100 microphone and seeing if I could actually recommend this to people. Because one thing that I've had a problem with is I want to be able to recommend really affordable microphones to not only people that are just getting into voice acting, but even people that maybe have done it for a while. Okay, well, they knocked it out of the park here. What else can I say? When I was doing my test before shooting the video, I really couldn't hear a difference between the X1A and the Rode NT1. I mean, I was speechless because I thought there's no way. I thought, okay, it's a $100 microphone. It'll probably sound kind of like a $100 microphone. That's not the case. I love the way the X1A sounds. That's all I can say here. There's not really much else to say. I will be recommending the X1A to everyone now as not only a starter microphone, but a forever microphone. I mean, As I always say, the only reason you couldn't get away with using a $100 microphone like the X1A, or even a $250 microphone like the Rode NT1 5th Gen, or even the Rode NT1 Signature Series that's only $150, the reason you couldn't get away with using those microphones for the rest of your life is simply because the names that other microphones hold, that's it. It has nothing to do with the sound, and that's what's so frustrating, is because if you sent audio to your agent or to a casting director or whatever, and you didn't tell them what microphone you were on, they would be in love with either one of these microphones. They'd be like, oh, it sounds amazing. As long as your space is properly acoustically treated, you have good microphone technique. They would have no idea that it was a $100 microphone. But because you've got names like the TLM 103 Neumann and the Neumann U87 and the Sennheiser 416, those microphones are just legendary microphones. They carry big names. And because of that, people just have it in their head, oh, this person must be professional because they have a Sennheiser 416. And their audio is probably going to be outstanding because of it, and it's like none of that matters. None of that adds up to anything. So anyway, long story short, this microphone's incredible, and I'm going to be recommending it until I'm blue in the face. So, all right, so what are my overall... Okay, yes, I'm wearing different clothes. On my shoot day, I totally forgot to shoot the end of this video. Don't know how that happened, but here I am to finish this video out now. So what are my overall thoughts about the SE Electronics X1A? Well, my overall thoughts are probably pretty obvious because of when I was in the booth comparing it to other microphones. I will be recommending this microphone to everyone. I think it sounds incredible. Like I said, it's a $100 microphone, and it gives you two features, the pad feature and then the low cut feature. And again, $100 and you're getting these features. It's just normally that is not the case. Normally it's a fixed microphone. There's no gadgets. There's nothing you can't do anything other than record with it if it's going to be $100. And the fact that it sounds so good at $100. So anyway, my overall thoughts, when it was compared to the LCT 240 Pro from LEWITT, I did prefer the SE Electronics X1A over the LEWITT microphone. I think LEWITT's one of the most innovative microphone companies going. I think they're doing some really awesome stuff. I will say I've only heard like 2 or 3 LEWITT microphones, and every time I hear them, it just seems like they have a little bit of sizzle that I'm not a fan of. I know a lot of people like the sizzle to those microphones, but they're just, for my voice on the 240 Pro, and just I think for a lot of people that I hear online, it's just a little harsh. And I would really love to try out a lot of their microphones to see if they have other microphones in their lineup that don't have that sizzle, that harsh frequency boost to it. I'm sure they probably do, but anyway, one day maybe I'll be able to review some more of their microphones and find out. But I did prefer, I think that the X1A it was just a little fuller. It just sounded a little fuller, a little more robust. So yeah, that's how I feel about those two microphones. Now, when it came to the X1A versus the Rode NT1, oh man, I actually was able to hear everything after the fact when I was editing before I came back and shot this part because I forgot. But what I was hearing is the Rode NT1 had a little bit more bottom end to it, I think, than the X1A. Maybe just a little bit more bottom end. And to my ears, the Rode NT1 had a little bit of, on my voice, a bit of more of a nasally boost somewhere in the mids to maybe like high mids that I had never heard before, but when putting it up against the X1A, all of a sudden I heard it. And again, it's just, that's going to happen. You put certain mics up against each other and you're going to hear something maybe you've never heard before because you put it up against a specific microphone. But I mean, the X1A, you can hear a difference, but you really have to be listening to hear the difference. You really have to be locked in. You have to have a good pair of headphones or a good pair of studio monitors. If you were just listening, like there's a difference between listening and active listening. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but people talk about this in the mixing world when it comes to like mixing music and things like that. There's a difference between just listening to a song, like you're just in your car, you're driving down the road and you're just listening to a song, versus going into your car to do the car test where you're trying to see if it sounds like you've mixed something in your room and you're trying to go down there and see if it sounds good in your car, because that's just a thing in the industry. And when you're listening to something critically, active listening, you're just going to hear things that you didn't hear before. And even things that may not be an issue, but you kind of turn them into an issue because you're like critically listening. You're like really trying to hear, if there's some problems going on. So when it comes to these two microphones, if you are actively listening, if you're doing active listening, then you would probably hear the differences. But again, you have to really be locked in, have a good pair of headphones or a good pair of studio monitors. But if you were just listening and not active listening, you probably wouldn't tell a difference between these mics, which is insane because, again, $100 microphone. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be recommending the X1A to literally everyone. SE Electronics is an amazing company. You know, $100 microphone with the two features that it gives you and the fact that it just sounds amazing. It's awesome. Now, who do I recommend this microphone to? Do I recommend this microphone to voice actors? Do I recommend this microphone to content creators? This is an easy one. I recommend this microphone to everyone. If you're a content creator making YouTube videos, podcasting, if you're a voice actor, if you're a musician, literally everyone would get good use out of this microphone. It's amazing, very, very affordable. So yeah, not much else to say. So when it comes to the SE Electronics X1A, well, you know what they say.